I think creative pleasure is more important than we realize. I know when I made the transition from academia to painting and sculpting, I was looking for a sense of enjoyment. I was looking for creative pleasure, which I definitely was not having in all of my courses. I was just basically trying to make the grade and do what I was supposed to do and live up to expectations. And I had a freedom in life drawing and sculpting and painting that allowed me to do what I really wanted to do and felt excited about doing. That is a very basic human impulse. I think we all need some way to feel that. And I would imagine that everybody is born with some kind of energy that when they express it, they feel this deep satisfaction and excitement. Their um, their lives, their days, their growth can be dedicated to learning about it and evolving it and manifesting it in the world. Nothing gives you more pleasure than to do something and do it well and see it manifested in the world in some form. And we all have some desire to do something like that. For me, when I do a good piece of art and I can see it, I'm actually looking into myself and looking into something that nobody else sees. I don't even see it. I um, couldn't spot it looking in the mirror. You have to actually grapple with the creative process somehow. And in that, there are a series of little moments of inspiration that come out of nowhere. It's not all programmed. Things happen you don't expect. You surprise yourself in both good and bad ways. Um, but if you're making a work of art, you edit out the things you don't like and you keep the things that really express what it is you need to show to yourself and to the world. And what you're dealing with is a whole host of impulses and insights and knowledge and learning that all come together as something brand new, something the world has never seen before. I realize that there are imitative artists who admire someone else so much that they they get overwhelmed by that person's energy, that person's voice, and they identify with it so much they lose track of what they want to say, what they have to say. Um, I think that it is essential, especially in the world as it's constructed right now, as it's construed, to oppose the forces that try to make you a replica of some model that they've got. And we're taken through this whole process where somebody proposes to give us approval or non-approval grades from A to F, and we accept that as children because we don't know any better. But it conditions you to accept outside judgment. What you need to develop and what all children need to develop is assessing their own impulses and working with them to the point where they can master them to a certain degree. They can elicit that energy and have it come to the surface and then direct it and work with it. That is the nature of every human being. I think everybody is creative in some way. It doesn't have to be art, it could be anything. But if you are yourself, if you're really just being who you're meant to be, you're original. You're one of a kind, and we all are. I think that we are taught that we are built on a model and we pass or fail according to how well we conform to that template. That's a pretty stupid idea. Um, I think that for young people to realize that the system is crushing them is important. Just that idea that they are being crushed by anonymous forces that everybody else is accepting, that they don't have to accept. They can actually say, I'm going to find out who I am. And there will be people, wise elders are few and far between, but they do exist. And anyone who is older and wiser and more experienced and has insight, who can look perceptively at a young person and say, you're good at that. You should look at that. I think we all need that at a certain age. And if you don't have it, you're probably going to stumble around. It's possible you can get lost and never be found. I went through that process and came out the other end having stumbled into the right path, but I fell off of it 100 times before I finally realized all the different elements I had to get together to make it work. In any case, everybody's unique, everybody has their own issues, and we all need a certain amount of help. And young people don't usually get the proper help. A wise elder is not just somebody who has a bag of tricks to make a living in life, that they're going to train you to follow and master the bag of tricks. That's not going to do it for your soul. That's not going to do it for your creative joys. That may feed you and put a roof over your head, but it's not sufficient. Fighting your way through that morass, that jungle, is not easy. But what I'm trying to point out is those of us who are older, who've been through this, when you have a chance to either say something that'll help somebody, write something, paint something, create something out of your own passion, you have an obligation to do it.